What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham transfer update. Some new names to bring to you on this update, which you'll be very pleased about. Starting off with Wolves' João Gomes, as Graham Bailey from 90 Min says that Tottenham are admirers of Brazil international João Gomes. Arsenal and Man City have inquired too, as has Liverpool. However, neither João Gomes nor Wolves are in any rush to pursue a transfer, despite interest from plenty of Premier League rivals. I, for one, have been very impressed with what I've seen this season. He had a scintillating performance against Spurs, scoring 2 goals at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well. I think whoever brings him in is a lucky team. I really rate him.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he fits in at Spurs. I'm not sure if we see him as a number 6 or from what I've seen at Wolves, he's definitely more of a number 8. Obviously, having a really good time at the Copper at the moment for Brazil. He's actually been playing quite a lot for them, and I think he's been having some quite good games. So he's a really impressive player. I think he's adapted to the Premier League really, really well for Wolves. Still so young as well. I think it'd be a great signing, but similar to obviously I'd probably rather him than Jacob Ramsey, although Ramsey's got a bit more versatility. But again, I question where the necessity is for him, unless we really believe he could be number 6, and that would be an interesting prospect.
Yeah, I think from when I've seen him play, he does seem to profile from what I've seen as like a box-to-box number 8 who can maybe influence both sides of the pitch. But I wouldn't be surprised if he could do the number 6 role.
Yeah, I think, look, he's still so young. You know, you can develop in different facets of his game. But definitely for Brazil, he plays a double pivot role. I know that. And he usually has a defensive midfielder next to him. Or not defensive. He has, to be fair, he has Bruno next to him. So he's but he's a ball-playing player. And then for Wolves, I know he plays a 3-4-3 and a double pivot. So whether he can adapt to playing in the number 6 would be interesting.
Yeah, but either way, top quality player, and I would love to see him at Tottenham Hotspur. Now we're going to talk about 2 Turkish publications.
The classic Turkish publications.
Milliet say Liverpool has advanced with a move for Tottenham target Baris Alpa Yilmaz from Galatasaray. The Turkish winger has lit up the Euro stage with his magnificent performances for the national side. After joining Manchester United in the race, it will be a 3-way battle between the 3 Premier League clubs, Man United, Liverpool and Tottenham, for Baris Alpa Yilmaz. A journalist called Ali Nakchi Kuchik says Manchester United and Tottenham will make an official offer for Baris Alpa Yilmaz in the coming days. I've actually been fairly impressed with what I've seen from him over the last couple of games for Turkey. Obviously, Turkey are out now, but I do think he was one of the better players on the day that they did go out.
Yeah, I have to say, actually, I was taking a close eye on him because of Spurs' interest, and he actually looks like a player who could really fit in well at Tottenham, just because he's such an aggressive player. He was hounding the opposition defences non-stop. It was really, really pressing, and a number of occasions, especially in the game against Austria in the last 16, where Turkey was slight underdogs in that game, and especially they were under the cosh for a lot of that second half, and very, very often in that second half he would take the ball and he would carry it in the Austria half and win free kicks and hold the ball up and just cause a nuisance for the Austria backline. And that was really, really impressive. There was also a couple of occasions where I remember there was one occasion from the right hand side, he took the ball and he just took it past Lineheart on that right hand side and burst into the space and created opportunities, and he seemed to actually had pretty decent decision making as well. The only thing I would say is in front of goal, he did seem to be a bit lacking. Seemed to be very good at all the other facets of his game, but he didn't really have too many opportunities to show what he's all about when it came to finishing and stuff like that. But definitely was quite an impressive player. So I can understand watching him why Tottenham are interested, for sure.
Does seem like a bit of an Ange Postecoglou player with his aggression. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm very, very much impressed with his aggression, but I'm not so sure if his abilities on the ball maybe will suit the system. But remains to be seen. There is a 3-horse race, if you believe this publication, out in Turkey. Next up, another publication in Turkey called Aksem say that Tottenham have been following Polish star Sebastian Szymanski for a long time and are in the process of reaching an agreement with Fenerbahce to sign the player. Tottenham have made an offer of €25 million plus bonuses, and Fenerbahce Fenerbahce are very positive about the offer. It will become official in the coming days. I don't think he means that it's going to be official in terms of he's going to be a Spurs player in the coming days, but I think the offer is going to be official, they're claiming, in the coming days.
Who said it?
Axem.
Don't know how reliable that is, but all I can go off is we had a Polish fan who wrote into us saying that he's a good player, but he doesn't think he's suited to the Premier League. And he said he definitely wants Szymanski to come to Tottenham because he's Polish and he'd be excited about it. But he doesn't think Szymanski would be the right fit for the Premier League. That's all I can go off, really, in terms of deferring to people who've watched him more than me. Obviously, we've spoken about him before, a player with a lot of goal contributions in the Turkish league. But whether he's a player I believe we're seriously interested in, I'm not convinced. I haven't heard anyone reliable report on it.
And he's kind of been in and out the Polish side as well throughout the Euros for the time that they were in it. So it's not one that, gets me off my seat of excitement.
It's all been just Polish sources.
Or Turkish.
Turkish sources. So to me, it doesn't sound like anything reliable.
But, we do know that the way Johan Lang likes to conduct himself and conduct his transfers is very under the radar, hush-hush. So maybe it does make sense it's coming out from their side and not our side.
Maybe. Don't know.
Next up, everyone's favourite transfer target, Conor Gallagher. Ben Jacobs says that Tottenham are still expected to make a bid for Conor Gallagher.
Of course. We're always expected. It's never going to go away, is it, this Conor Gallagher? We're going to be 100 years older. We'll still be talking about Conor Gallagher potentially coming to Tottenham. But yeah, I think this deal is very unlikely. Seeing as the PSR deal has passed, I just can't see Tottenham spending probably more than what we wanted to. Because before, I think we were looking to spend 45. I mean, now Chelsea have got no reason not to offer a bit more. Obviously, he's still yet signed that contract. And I've always said, as long as that contract isn't signed, the possibility of moving is open, 100%.
And also Dewsbury Hall has come in as well.
Dewsbury Hall has come in. But unless the figure's right for Tottenham, I don't know whether this deal gets done. I don't know. Look, he hasn't signed the deal yet, so I guess we wait and see until the end of the window, but I still think it's unlikely.
And regardless if the PSR deadline has gone past, they're still going to need to meet another PSR deadline in the years to come. So it's still pure profit for them.
True.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. I'm not really convinced that Spurs will make a move on Conor Gallagher, but Ben Jacobs claims that it's still expected. Last but not least, we're going to talk about academy player George Abott. No one's really been talking about George Abott. Everyone's been talking about the Donnellys, the Will Lancashires, the Alfie Devines, these kind of players, Dane Scarletts. But Alistair Gold has been saying, it's an opinion piece, he says, I've got a feeling that George Abott is going to be one that is going to be pushed a bit more towards the first team this season if he doesn't end up going out on loan. People at the club were very pleased with his last year of development. He received a Premier League appearance under Ryan Mason in the previous campaign, and he essentially became the captain of the under-21s in the second half of last season. They are very pleased with his ability to play in multiple positions. So he's a player that has filled in at centre-back, right-back, predominantly has played in defensive mid for Spurs under-21s this season, scored in the final against Sunderland, I believe, at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 18 years of age, and he's become a regular and captain for the under-21. So it's interesting why Spurs fans, including ourselves, has not really spoken about him and kind of slept on him.
Well, not much talk has been had about him. I guess it's hard to say why there's not been as much excited about him as there has about other players. Maybe it's a case of his versatility in a weird way working against him in terms of, when we're looking at centre-backs. Although he's played there, we've got other centre-backs who are kind of natural centre-backs like Phillips or Dorrington, and we're fans focus on them. When we're looking at full-backs, he's not a natural full-back. When we look at the midfielders, because he's played all around the place, maybe fans haven't really nailed down where they see him playing. But in a weird way, the versatility could help him when it comes to being in the first team, because if we have injuries in certain areas, and he could fill in those areas because he's so versatile, that could really help him. Whereas people like a Phillips or I don't know, even like a Tyrese or whatever, they'd be waiting for an injury in a specific position to kind of get their way in the team. Whereas Abott can say, look, I can fill in all these different positions wherever you need me, and maybe that could help him if he can do it to a good level. So it'd be interesting if that is true, that he is going to be in the first team. I'd be pleasantly surprised, but I mean, if the club believe he's definitely good enough, I mean, there's so much talk about so many different players. It's hard to fathom, even an extra one being put in the ring. But why not? Why not? If he's good enough, why not give him a chance?
Yeah, and look, he was given a debut, wasn't he, under Ryan Mason in the back end of the year before.
In the win against Leeds.
In the win against Leeds, exactly. And I think a few academy players did get a few minutes in that game. But when you're looking at the positions that he does take up on the field, he even before this season had a few spots at left back as well. At the moment, our only recognised left back is Destiny Udogie. Obviously, Van der Ven has filled in there the back end of last season. Right back, Emerson Royale and Jed Spence are rumoured to be going out the door, heavily linked to be going out the door. And you've got Pedro Porro and potentially Archie Gray who can play there as well. Centre backs. You know, there's Dragusin as the backup, but no one else really, unless you still consider Ben Davis, unless Ben Davis is going to go out the door. CDM, you've got Yves Bissouma, but no other real natural player that can play there, maybe Rodrigo Bentancur. So maybe there is opportunities for him to play in Europe or other competitions.
Yeah, depending on who we sign. I think it's important to take a good look at him in pre-season and see how he performs when he gets to first team level. And see if what kind of level he's at, and that'll be really, really important to see, because I think from the club's point of view, if you've got someone like Abott who can fill in a few positions, then not necessarily in the number 6, because I think we do need to spend big there. But when it comes to like backup fullbacks and things like that, maybe it'll be much more worth our while to have someone like Abott available rather than spending money on a player.
Absolutely. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories we've brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.